moving in another direction. Therefore, they lost that possibility. Then therefore, they had to depend on their own ability. What they did was they completely transformed the way agriculture was done in Cuba, right? Firstly, one thing they said, okay, we don't have fertilizer, pesticides, machinery, we do without it. They went organic, they went ecological, and there was scientific knowledge and lots of scientists. All the scientists were utilized in order to generate biodynamic agriculture, make use of the natural pest control methods and develop that. That was one big transformation which helped Cuba to survive. The other thing was they understood that the large plantations were not very efficient, because earlier when they took over socialism and land was taken over, they had these work brigade systems. Large plantations, there were work brigades, they plough one plot, they go to the other plot, they plough that plot, go to the other plot, then some other group. So therefore, this link between man to land relationship was remote. Now they knew that that was not the best way to do it, and therefore they converted those large plantations into smaller plots and gave people the control over these plots, and they went ecological or organic. And they also started developing urban home gardens for their own domestic food production. As a result, to my knowledge, Cuba overcame its food problems, and maybe they also in the rush overcame other problems like health and so on. Now take for instance dengue, right? Dengue is a huge problem in this country. Cuba has not had any dengue attacks for about 3-4 years. They completely mobilized people to clean the environment and get rid of the whole process of mosquito breeding. So therefore, Cuba is a solid example where mobilizing people in the right direction can bring much more better results. In fact, when you look at the whole world, what is required is to bring this link back between human potential and nature. These things have to combine in a positive way so that both these factors are enriched, not depleted. Capitalism utilizes human beings in a destructive manner and discards them, utilizes nature in a destructive manner and destroys it. So these things have to be reversed, and therefore Cuba has set, to my knowledge, it has set a wonderful example. Therefore now they have their wonderful systems like what they do with Venezuela. They exchange doctors and so on. Now, I have gone to Venezuela, I have seen Cuban doctors working in Venezuelan villages where they go and look at people, all these eye diseases and so on, with no money involved. They pay the transport and air travel, but these people go and work voluntarily. So that's a wonderful example for the rest of the world where we could share. If you look at the same possibility of that kind of link between the countries in South Asia, for instance India and Sri Lanka and so on, there is a tremendous lot of knowledge. If we can make use of the Indian expertise, say Dr. Veerakon will tell you, he has visited them. There are some people in India, like there's a person called Subhash Palekar, a farmer, expert farmer, who has done nature farming, completely natural. He calls it zero budget farming, and it is said that he has about 3 million farmers working with him and developing natural potential of. So that kind of knowledge can be utilized in a country like Sri Lanka very effectively.
I am going to jump subjects now. I am going to go back to your father's original profession of Ayurveda, and again the relationship between herbal medicine and utilizing nature opposed to pharmaceutical medicine and pharmaceutical drugs. Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, in fact, we have realized that one of the reasons why we should convert into ecological farming is in relation to health. right? If you now earlier people had a history of health naturally looked after. In fact, Robert Knox, those years, he says, it is a strange country with strange people. When they are ill, they walk into the forest and they know what to do with your illness. I mean, this was Ayurvedic medicine. People's own knowledge about how what you can find in your nature can heal you. And in fact, there are some doctors now who are working on it. There is a particular doctor that we know of who is a Western trained doctor, but he practices this natural, he calls it naturopathy or nature healing, where by say for instance in the Ayurvedic system of medicine, I know very little of it, but the little I know tells me the whole way of looking at health is different. Your body system, if it is in proper balance, if germs enter, the germs don't grow. It has the possibility of resisting the germs. If you are, they call it tundus, no? Vapitsem. That's the nervous system, the respiratory system and the digestive system. If these systems are in proper balance, germs entering will not grow in your body. It doesn't provide a healthy environment for germs to grow. So, what is done in Ayurvedic medicine is to instruct the person to keep your body in balance by the way you eat, by the way you sleep, by the way you face nature, whether you walk in the rain or stay in the sun, whether it's good for you, what kind of food is good for you, what kind of food. Now, that is a very old historical knowledge of how natural environment reacts on you, and this is how knowledge of health evolved, and that in a way is compilation of that knowledge and utilizing that knowledge is Ayurvedic system of medicine. Now, today it is essential that we go back to that philosophy of nature, health. Otherwise, if you look at the prices of drugs today, I mean, there are Western doctors who are trained in, you call it allopathic or whatever, no? Allopathic medicine, who know that all drugs have various ill effects. Therefore, they are so frightened to give drugs. Now, I am a diabetic, I have cholesterol, I have blood pressure, but my doctor is very cautious about the type of medicine that I should take. And he helps me, he tells me, be as natural as possible, and he tells me how to eat and how not to eat. Now, therefore, now that knowledge is a must for a country like Sri Lanka, because people can't buy health. I mean, people, I mean, it was in a way, it was seen as a blessing that the free health system came in, but it also had its ill effect of, like the Green Revolution, it got people used to this Western type of medicine and treatment. Therefore, we became dependent on it. But now that it's becoming impossible and its weaknesses are recognized, I am not saying that there is nothing good in the Western medicine. No, there are. In fact, both my eyes were operated on and I put lenses, right? Now, that kind of thing is essential. So, there are very important developments in advanced Western medicine. But then, for a country where people are poor, people who can't depend on expensive health have to go back to their own ways of being healthy, and that knowledge has to come in. Therefore, I give tremendous importance to revival of three things. These are the three things I think that can save us, right? One thing is the knowledge of indigenous traditional agriculture, going back to nature, indigenous traditional health, Ayurvedic medicine and Buddhism. I am a born Christian, I am a Roman Catholic born, but I say that Buddhism tells you exactly what the world needs, because unless you understand